No Chill Reacts, Black Myth Zhong Kui. We're actually going to, this time, we're actually going to stop and watch the full trailer. Extended trailer. It just dropped last night. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it with me. I'll give some insight. There's one thing that I'm worried about. There's one big thing that I'm worried about, and I want to see if I see it in this trailer, right? So I'm just going to watch. I'll give a little commentary and my thoughts on what I'm seeing, but I just want to kind of see if there's one thing that they kind of address, right? And I don't necessarily need to see it addressed, but I at least need to feel like it's moving in the right direction. So let's get into it. I'm trying not to move my hands below the table because I got peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in my pocket, Uncrustables. Side note. The sound of those flies, man, it makes me want to. Okay, so I guess this is our protagonist. I'm not going to assume his name is Zhong Kui because we don't have that information yet. But I am interested in who this person is. And their backstory. Black Myth Wukong did a really good job establishing the backstory early on. And they dropped you in the action. Good shit, Black Myth Wukong. Like the second the game started, you were fighting for your life. Oh damn! He's like he was chilling eating his chicken. He wasn't expecting shit. He's like, nah, I'm good. You keep that. So what the hell? So evidently they're giving us pieces of a I guess a section. That looks great. That looks I no hey, I'm not gonna hold you. That looked really good. Just that whole little montage right there. Okay, so a lot of time has to pass because when you meet the old man, like he seems like he's vibrant, full of health, all that kind of stuff, and then now he looks like he barely clinging on to life. Okay, so group fights. Now I do remember in Black Myth, it seemed like the group fights were never more than like at least 3 or 4 people, and now I see what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. I thought I seen 7, but it looks like 6. Unless someone's just off on the side. So yeah, it is. No, it is 7. All right, there's someone way off on the. So one thing that I usually watch out for, especially when you have this many enemies, is the combat system, right? Because one thing a lot of games struggle with is the ability for the protagonist or whoever you're using, the main character, to fight multiple enemies at one time. I think some of the feedback that I got regarding this is like something like Beast of Reincarnation, which is out right now. It seems like that's something that people struggle with in that game. Damn, that evade was clean though. All right, cinematic. All right, I see it. Cinematic kill. Put him down. Belt to ass. Okay. All right, you can block. There's definitely a blocking system. Block and parry. Definitely good to see it. I know there was in Black Myth Wukong there was like a special skill or magic you could use that had something like a parry mechanic, but just to be able to have parry built into the normal kit is definitely a plus for me. And that evade, like I said, those evades look smooth. All right, he has the drink. Got the Drank. All right, so parries lead to cinematic kills. That definitely looks good. Oh shit, he comboed that. So he dies. Yeah, that whole section has to happen over a certain amount of time, like a chapter or like just an overall game section of the game. I like the movement. It definitely looks fast. The game does seem like it moves fairly quickly in terms of the character movement, and I do like that. Although I do love Lies of P, which is what I'm playing on the channel right now, the DLC. One thing that I struggle with is sometimes the slow movement, right? It does seem like, especially early on in the game, not so much now, but early on when I first started playing the game, he seemed real heavy. Like real clunky. And it seems like here the movement, okay. It seems like here the movement is fairly fast. Okay, this is cool as shit. All right, that's badass. So you could take elemental. You can take elemental powers. Can you use them? I'm assuming you can use them if you can put them in the sword. Yep, that's the first thing. Okay. Area attack. And you can, okay, like I said, you can parry. You can parry and counter, which is a version of seeing through. But it seems like I said, it's like seeing through wasn't necessarily a parry. It was a reaction, right? Because you didn't really parry. The person still got whoever you were fighting, they still got the attack off. But it looks like here, like you stop their attack and then you counter with another attack, and that to me seems like more of a true parry than like seeing through. All right, seems like a basic combo string. Like, I'm assuming you're, a little bit of button mashing in there. That's what I'm also interested in, that in the actual combat system, because I mean a lot of games primarily do that, either triangle or square triangle combination to get attacks off. Square is normal, triangle's heavy. I wonder if they do anything different. I'm really excited to see that, what the combat system looks like with this game. You don't know what's in that water, bro. So is this cinematic? Well, this is definitely cinematic, but now I guess now I have questions like, are there things that we're going to be able to do in or underwater? Because that's a section of Black Myth that I don't remember us having. So if that was added, I think that would be a cool addition or value add. At least he lets you get out the water, though. First off, those raindrops. The fact that I'm sitting here like, oh wow, you can see the rain. That's some clarity for your ass. Like, what? All right, see the evade. You use that drink. All right, so there's the see-through, or whatever they're going to call it. But it definitely looks like they gave you more offensive weapons. At least your base weapons or your base abilities or resources. It looks like they might have added on to that a little bit, which is awesome. Okay, I see you. But that reminds me of what is that? Yellow Long. I'm gonna keep saying it every time I see it. Those evades are clean though, because he just sidesteps that shit. All right, okay. So then he calls in a summons, but the crazy thing is that him and the summons are fighting side by side. So unlike Black Myth, where when you summoned someone, like, you know, they took over in terms of the fight, like now you're fighting alongside someone. That's badass. I do like that change. Kind of gives me that Spectre vibes from Lies of P. Is he not gonna help? Is he just gonna sit back and watch? Hey, you struggling, my boy. Whoever, oh, all right, yeah, you might as well get that help. Hey, you hear that hero music kick in though. Like, you know shit's real. Hey, this should look clean though. Look at the amount of damage that did. That's crazy. Hey, this music go hard though. But one thing that was really good about the about Black Myth was their music selection. Oh, you fucked up now. I love that summons combat mechanic system, whatever you want to call it. The ability to call in a summons, fight along that summons, and then take it over eventually. Like I would, to me I feel like that's how you improve a game, right? You take what worked, and then you find ways to make it better or add more complexity to it, or you know, add more use case to it, which is awesome. Oh, that's creepy. That's horror movie shit right there. He said, "You going with me?" So now I'm wondering, who is that? Is that the old man, or is that like a descendant of the old man? All right, so now we see just other clips of the game here. That looks like old girl that they just saved. That we frying little people. Oh, he must have kicked his ass. All right, that got to be what that is. Hey, we vibing with the skeletons. I see it. Damn. Oh, that's nasty. What is that? Now I'm now I'm just taking it all in. We riding on half of a man's body. This game looks really good. Did he stab this man in the shoulder? He was taking it out to he was taking the sword out of his shoulder to use it in the fight. That is crazy. Is that a tiger? Don't promise me, hey, don't tell me with a good time. You give me a tiger, I want to use that tiger. I don't want to just ride a tiger. All right, that's not what we talking about doing here. Okay, that looks good. All right, got the nice call out ending, logo ending. Three things that I'm taking away from this. Here are the three things that I really want to see from Black Myth Zhong Kui. So first, I really like the summon system, right? Being able to call on someone, fight alongside them, take them over. I'm really intrigued by that. I really want to see how the best use case for that. I think it's going to really kind of change how a lot of people go about what they do in the game, because I've really never used, unless it was a boss fight, I really never used the summon. Second, the tiger. You give me a tiger, I'm gonna want to play that tiger. All right, I need combos with the tiger. I need to be able to. I need collaborations with the tiger in fights. If you give me a tiger, let me use the damn tiger. That's all I'm gonna say. Last, what I'm thinking is evade and the parry mechanic. Right, I love the fact that they added that parry. I love the fact they added the parry in terms of including it in the kit. Right, the one thing that I always noticed about Black Myth was like that you could either evade or you could see through. Right, in terms of parry, I think you had to use a certain type of magic or something to get that type of mechanic, but it wasn't necessarily a parry. So it's definitely good to see that. Last but not least, all right, I'm gonna say this: the one thing that I'm worried about is the story. Right, is the story. I am not one for stories. If you give me good combat, I could care less about a story, right? The story is just icing on the cake. The thing is, Black Myth Wukong gave a really good story. They tied everything together. They gave you pieces of it. It was really, once you got the good ending and you seen the full breadth of everything, it was kind of, and they tied everything together, like you were like, damn, this was a movie. And even watching some of the scenes between the chapters and everything else, like it really brought you into the story. And I hope that they're not going to be a victim of their own success, right? Because now I'm going into this expecting like peak storytelling. And if I don't get peak storytelling, I'm not going to necessarily hold that against the game, because like I said, there's the combat. But if what I'm hoping for is a improvement or a better version of what we got from Black Myth Wukong, which might be hard, understandably, that's a tall order to ask, then the story is going to have to come into play on that, right? Similar to games like God of War Ragnarok, things like that. The story is sometimes what keeps people going back to the game, watching people play the game, playing the game themselves, whatever the case may be. But I say all that to say the game does look great. I am excited. Anybody who played Black Myth, I hope that you've seen this and it inspires you to want to play the game as well, right? I'm not going to say you should pre-order this game because I don't even think it's out on pre-order yet. I don't think any other information outside the gameplay trailer is out. But eventually, if it does come on pre-order, see what comes with it. Pre-order is not mandatory. People try to convince you to pre-order games all the time. Pre-order is not mandatory, okay? If you're not sure about it, wait until it comes out, see what people are saying about it, let people play it, and then make a decision from there. There's nothing wrong with basing your decision off of seeing other people experience the game and how they experience the game. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's where I'm gonna end it at. Good gameplay, good extended gameplay. Like I said, I'm not a fan of studios putting out pre-orders or asking you for money without giving you a presentation of the game. And I'm not talking about a cinematic trailer. I'm talking about actual gameplay. Let me see what the game looks like. Let me see the look and feel of the game. And at least before you ask for my money, give me a chance to form an opinion on how on how the game looks in terms of navigating through the game. I'm gonna end it here. Thanks, guys. No Chill Reacts. If you have any questions or if you have any opinions or just any additional comments, feel free to put them in the comments as well. I do live stream daily, every day except Sunday. So feel free to come into the chat, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. We can have a discussion about the trailer. Shit, we can even watch the trailer we can even watch the trailer and talk about it again in the stream. No problem. I have no issue doing that. My chat knows that sometimes we'll go down the rabbit hole and just look at video game trailers and review video games and have that conversation. So feel free to like, follow, subscribe, whatever you're on, whatever you're doing. Good shit. No Chill Reacts. I'm out. I did a whole watch and a whole playthrough. Did not press record. Pro streamer here.